The challenge. Commander Maya Rodriguez kept her face carefully neutral as the massive Centaurian warrior circled her in the arena's holding chamber. Cathara stood 8 feet tall, her crystalline exoskeleton catching the harsh artificial light, 4 arms rippling with barely contained power. The alien's faceted eyes studied Maya with clear disdain. "They send me a human," Cathara's translator rendered her clicks and whistles into a cold, metallic voice. "The arena masters must truly wish to shame me before my ascension to champion." Maya remained silent, performing her pre-fight stretches with deliberate precision. 6 months as a prisoner in the Nexus arena had taught her when to speak and when to let her opponents underestimate her. Her dark eyes scanned the chamber, noting the positions of the guards, the subtle hum of the force field barriers, the slight delay in the security camera sweeps, all details that would matter soon enough. "Your species is so fragile," Cathara continued, mandibles clicking in what passed for amusement among her kind. "No natural armor, no enhanced strength, no evolutionary advantages whatsoever. How you ever achieved spaceflight is beyond comprehension." Maya completed her warm-up routine, rolling her shoulders as she finally met Cathara's gaze. "We're full of surprises." The arena announcer's voice boomed through the chamber, introducing Cathara to the roaring crowd above. The Centaurian warrior moved toward the rising platform, all 4 arms extending in a gesture of superiority. "Try to last at least a few minutes, human. The spectators paid good credits for this match." Maya took her position on the second platform, mind already racing through combat scenarios. She hadn't survived 15 years in Earth's Special Operations Command by being predictable, and she hadn't won 23 arena matches by fighting the way aliens expected humans to fight. The platforms rose through shimmering force fields into the massive arena bowl. 50,000 spectators from across the galaxy filled the stands, their bloodlust palpable in the electrically charged air. Maya caught glimpses of wealthy merchants, crime lords, and even a few diplomatic delegations, all here to watch carefully orchestrated gladiatorial combat. "Today's challenge match," the announcer's voice echoed, "pits the rising star of the Centaurian Empire, the undefeated Cathara, against the human warrior known only as the Ghost." Maya allowed herself a small smile at the nickname. The arena masters hadn't been pleased when she'd refused to give them her real name or rank, but her habit of seemingly disappearing during matches had earned her the moniker anyway. Cathara wasted no time, charging forward with all 4 arms extended in deadly striking positions. Maya waited until the last possible moment before moving, her body flowing like water around the Centaurian's attack. The crowd gasped as she seemed to materialize behind Cathara, landing 2 precise strikes at joint weaknesses in the crystalline armor. "Impossible," Cathara spun, but Maya was already gone, circling to maintain optimal distance. The Centaurian's advantages in reach and strength meant nothing if she couldn't land a hit. "You were right about humans having no evolutionary advantages," Maya said, her voice pitched to carry to her opponent. "That's why we had to become smart instead." Cathara's next attack was more measured, her 4 arms working in complex patterns designed to trap and corner. Maya recognized the technique from studying recordings of previous matches, a standard Centaurian combat form that relied on overwhelming force and superior reach. What Cathara didn't know was that Maya had spent those 6 months doing more than just surviving matches. She'd been watching, learning, analyzing every species' fighting styles. More importantly, she'd been noting the subtle signs that something was very wrong with the entire arena system. Maya took a glancing blow to her shoulder, rolling with the impact to minimize damage. The hit sent her skidding across the arena floor, exactly where she wanted to be. As Cathara pressed her supposed advantage, Maya's hand found the almost imperceptible seam in the arena's surface, the maintenance access panel she'd spotted during her pre-fight inspection. "Your reputation is clearly exaggerated," Cathara declared, moving in for what she thought would be a finishing blow. "You are just another weak human after all." Maya's fingers found the panel's emergency release. "Actually," she grinned, "I'm a human who's really good at finding weak points." She triggered the release, causing the panel to spring upward and catch Cathara off balance. In the split second of disruption, Maya launched her real attack. Every strike targeted a stress point in the crystalline armor that she'd identified during their earlier exchanges. Her movements flowed from one form to another, combining Earth martial arts with adapted alien techniques she'd learned. Kathara found herself defending against an opponent who seemed to attack from all directions at once. The crowd's bloodthirsty cheering faltered as they watched their favored champion being systematically dismantled by the smaller human. Maya pressed her advantage, using Kathara's own momentum against her, redirecting the force of those four powerful arms into devastating counters. When Kathara finally fell, her crystalline armor cracked in a dozen places. The shock in her faceted eyes was genuine. Maya stood over her fallen opponent, chest heaving from exertion but mind still sharp, analyzing, planning. How, Kathara managed through her translator. You moved like no human I've ever seen. Maya offered one of her four hands up in a gesture of respect that made the crowd gasp. Like I said, we're full of surprises. Now, we need to talk about the real reason I let myself get captured and fought my way up to face you. Kathara's mandibles clicked in confusion as she accepted the help up. In that moment of contact, Maya slipped a small data chip into a crack in the Centaurian's armor, information that would confirm everything the alien warrior had begun to suspect about the arena's true purpose. The crowd's confusion turned to outrage at this break from traditional combat protocol, but Maya noticed something else. A slight flicker in the arena's massive view screens, a momentary disruption in the energy field that usually kept the spectators' bloodlust artificially heightened. Everything was proceeding exactly according to plan. Hidden strengths. The holding cells beneath the arena thrummed with nervous energy. Maya sat cross-legged in her cell, watching Kathara process the information from the data chip through her species' neural interface. The Centaurian warrior's crystalline form shimmered with changing colors, signs of emotional turmoil that the arena's surveillance systems couldn't interpret. These genetic manipulation records, Kathara's translator whispered, they prove that the arena masters have been experimenting on us, enhancing some, suppressing others, ensuring certain outcomes. Maya nodded, keeping her voice low. Your last three opponents? They were chemically altered to fight below their capabilities. The arena masters needed you undefeated before facing me. They're planning something big, something that requires a Centaurian champion they can control. The cell block's shadows shifted as Rax, a massive Valax warrior in the adjacent cell, pressed closer to listen. His silicon-based body absorbed light, making him nearly invisible in darkness, a trait Maya had noted for future reference. But why you? Kathara's faceted eyes focused on Maya. Why orchestrate your capture and rise through the ranks? Maya smiled grimly. Because I'm not just any human prisoner. I'm Commander Maya Rodriguez, Earth Special Operations, Deep Cover Division. 6 months ago, we discovered that someone was using the arena network to test combat enhancement protocols suspiciously similar to banned weapons that nearly destroyed Earth during the First Contact Wars. The revelation sent ripples of tension through the nearby cells. Many of the imprisoned warriors had fought in those wars, remembered the devastating impact of chemically enhanced human soldiers who couldn't distinguish friend from foe. The ban on such research had been a cornerstone of the subsequent peace treaties. The arena masters aren't just running a fighting venue, Maya continued, her dark eyes reflecting the cell's dim lights. They're using us as test subjects, perfecting a new generation of combat enhancers. But they made one crucial mistake. They assumed humans would be perfect baseline test subjects because we lack natural advantages. Kathara's colors shifted to deeper hues of understanding. They didn't realize that this very disadvantage made you experts at adapting, at turning weaknesses into strengths. Exactly. Maya stood, stretching muscles that were already recovering thanks to the specialized nano-treatments her own scientists had developed, treatments that appeared completely natural to the arena's scanners. Humans had to learn to overcome our limitations. We had to become innovative, resourceful, unpredictable. When every other species evolved natural weapons, we evolved something far more dangerous: adaptability. Rax's rumbling voice joined the conversation. The matches. They've been steering us toward specific opponents, haven't they? Testing different combinations of enhanced and suppressed abilities. Maya moved closer to the energy barrier separating their cells. Look at your own fight records. Every time you showed signs of developing countermeasures to an opponent's style, you were matched with someone completely different. They're not just testing the enhancements, they're gathering combat data, creating a database of how different species adapt and respond. The cell block fell silent as the implications sank in. Dozens of warriors, champions of their respective species, all realizing they'd been unwitting participants in something far more sinister than gladiatorial combat. "There's more," Maya added, her voice hardening. "The arena masters don't just control the fighters. Those energy fields around the spectator areas, they're not just for protection. They're sophisticated emotion manipulators designed to enhance aggression and bloodlust. The entire arena system is one massive experimental laboratory." Kathara's crystalline form vibrated with barely contained rage. "How do we stop them?" Maya's smile turned predatory. "That's where human ingenuity comes in. Every match, every seemingly random movement I've made in the arena, I've been mapping their security systems, identifying weaknesses. The arena masters think they've created the perfect testing ground, but they've actually built their own trap." She gestured to the other cells, where warriors of various species listened intently. "Look around. They've gathered the greatest fighters in the galaxy, trained us against each other, pushed us to adapt and overcome. All we need to do is give these warriors a common enemy." "The guards will be making their rounds soon," Rax observed, his silicon form shifting restlessly. "They've increased security since your match with Kathara didn't end in death as expected." Maya nodded, her mind already racing through contingencies. "Good. That means they're worried. They should be. Because while they've been studying how we fight individually, they never considered what would happen if we worked together." Kathara's colors rippled with curiosity. "You have a plan." "I have several," Maya replied, her voice carrying the weight of months of careful preparation. "Humans are particularly good at planning jailbreaks. But first we need to make sure every warrior in this cell block understands what's really at stake. The arena masters aren't just violating treaties, they're trying to start another war. And this time they want to control both sides." The energy barriers hummed as guards approached for their routine check. Maya returned to her meditative pose, but not before catching the subtle shifts in posture from the other warriors, predators preparing to strike. Soon, the arena masters would learn the hard way why testing experimental weapons on professional soldiers was a spectacularly bad idea. "Remember," Maya whispered as the guards drew closer, "the key to surviving as a human among more powerful species is to make them underestimate you right up until the moment you strike. Let's show them why that's a mistake they'll only make once." The rebellion rises. The arena's maintenance tunnels echoed with the rhythmic sound of guard patrols, their footsteps masking the nearly silent movement of escaped warriors. Maya led the way, her smaller human form allowing her to scout ahead through narrow passages, while Kathara and Rax coordinated the others. "Security hub ahead," Maya whispered, her voice barely audible. "3 guards, standard neural dampeners, and—" She paused, studying the subtle variations in the air currents, 2 automated defense turrets, hidden in the ceiling panels. Kathara's crystalline form shifted colors in acknowledgement. The Centaurian warrior had quickly adapted to Maya's tactical approach, learning to trust the humans' seemingly impossible ability to detect threats others missed. "The dampeners will affect my neural interface. We'll need another way to disable their communications." "Already planned for that," Maya smiled, retrieving a small device she'd assembled from smuggled arena tech. "Rax, remember that silicon-based disruption field you generated during our match last week? Time to weaponize it." The Valax warrior's dark form rippled with anticipation. "You want me to overload their systems? That could be unstable." "Exactly," Maya confirmed. "Humans have a saying, the best distractions are the ones that look like accidents. Kathara, your crystalline structure can refract and amplify Rax's disruption field. Position yourself here and here." She indicated 2 points in the tunnel. "When I give the signal, channel it through your outer layer." As the others moved into position, Maya caught glimpses of their fellow escaped warriors, a dozen of the arena's most dangerous fighters, each chosen specifically for their unique abilities. The arena masters had spent months forcing them to fight each other. Now they would learn the cost of teaching warriors how to exploit each other's strengths. Maya raised her hand, counting down silently. When she reached 0, Rax's form began to vibrate at a frequency that made the air itself seem to shiver. Kathara's crystalline body caught the waves of energy, her carefully positioned form sending them spiraling toward the security hub in a concentrated beam. The effect was instantaneous. The guards' neural dampeners overloaded in a cascade of sparks, sending them crumpling to the floor before they could raise an alarm. The hidden turrets emerged from the ceiling only to short-circuit, their targeting systems scrambled by the disruption field. "Move," Maya commanded, and the warriors flowed into action with practiced precision. Years of combat experience combined with months of observation let them secure the hub in seconds, their movements synchronized despite never having fought together before. "Access terminal," Cathara reported, her neural interface connecting to the hub systems. "Their security protocols are impressive." Maya moved to the terminal, her fingers flying across the alien interface. "They should be. They're based on captured Earth military tech, probably stolen during the First Contact Wars. But they forgot something crucial about human technology." "And what's that?" Rax asked, standing guard at the tunnel entrance. "We always build in backdoors," Maya grinned, executing a series of commands that made the terminal's displays flicker. "Because humans know that no system is perfect, and we like to have options when things go wrong." The security feeds suddenly shifted, showing them the full layout of the arena complex. Maya's eyes darted from screen to screen, confirming what her months of careful observation had suggested. There, level 6. That's where they're keeping their enhanced warriors, the ones they've been perfecting their combat drugs on. "We should destroy them," Cathara's translator hummed with barely contained rage. "They're abominations." "They're victims," Maya corrected firmly. "Just like we were, and they might be our best chance at exposing what's really happening here. Rax, how long can you maintain that disruption field?" The Valax warriors' form rippled thoughtfully. "With Cathara amplifying it, maybe 20 minutes before my molecular structure needs to stabilize." "That's all we need." Maya's fingers danced across the terminal again, initiating a series of system overrides. "The Arena Masters are about to announce a special exhibition match, their enhanced warriors against their current champions. The kind of spectacle that will draw every important person in the sector." Understanding rippled through the gathered warriors. Cathara's colors shifted to deep blues of appreciation. "A trap, when they activate their emotion manipulators to enhance the crowd's bloodlust." "We'll use their own systems against them," Maya confirmed. "Show everyone exactly what they've been doing, but first we need to free those enhanced warriors and get them stabilized, which means we need to reach the medical labs on level 3. The most heavily defended section of the complex," Rax noted. "Guards, automated systems, and probably a few surprises we haven't seen yet." Maya's smile turned predatory. "Good thing we have something they don't, warriors who have spent months learning exactly how to counter each other's abilities. Time to show them what happens when you force the galaxy's deadliest fighters to become experts at working together." She turned to address the gathered warriors, her voice carrying the quiet authority that had made even the proudest champions listen. "Everything we've endured in this arena, every fight, every injury, every humiliation, it was all leading to this moment. They wanted us to be weapons. Instead, we became something far more dangerous." "And what's that?" one of the warriors asked. "A team," Maya answered, her dark eyes gleaming with fierce determination. "Now, let's go remind the Arena Masters why it's a bad idea to cage warriors who have learned all your secrets." The rebellion was about to begin, and Maya couldn't help but appreciate the irony. The Arena Masters had created the perfect testing ground for their combat enhancements, never realizing they were actually forging something far more powerful, an unshakable alliance between warriors who'd learned to turn their differences into strengths. As they moved out, Maya caught Cathara's faceted gaze. The Centaurian warrior's colors had shifted to the deep purples of battle readiness. "For a species with no natural advantages," Cathara's translator hummed, "you humans have a remarkable talent for creating them." Maya checked her makeshift weapons one last time. "That's because we learned early on that the best advantage isn't strength or speed or natural armor. It's the ability to turn any situation to your favor, especially when your enemies think they have you beaten." Breaking the system. Level 3's medical labs were a sterile maze of white corridors and sealed chambers, the air heavy with the sharp scent of chemical enhancers. Maya pressed against a wall as another patrol of enhanced guards passed, their movements unnaturally fluid, clear signs of extensive genetic modification. "This is wrong," Kathara whispered, her crystalline form dimmed to avoid detection. The chemical signatures. They're using Centaurian growth hormones combined with human neural accelerants. Maya nodded grimly. Hybridizing different species' biological advantages, but look at the guard's skin. The cellular degradation is already starting. These enhancements weren't designed to last. Rax emerged from a shadow where his silicon form had been perfectly concealed. The holding cells ahead contain 37 enhanced warriors. Their molecular stability is critical. Without intervention, their enhanced systems will collapse within hours. Through her earpiece, salvaged and modified from Arena Tech, Maya heard reports from other teams positioned throughout the complex. The rebellion was spreading methodically, warriors using their intimate knowledge of the arena's security to systematically disable key systems. "Control room secured," came a rumbling voice. One of the Drachnid warriors Maya had specifically recruited for their resistance to neural dampeners. "But you need to see this, Commander." Maya gestured for Kathara and Rax to continue toward the holding cells while she diverted to the lab's central control room. Inside, holographic displays filled the air with genetic data and combat statistics. But it was the central display that made her blood run cold. "Project Chimera," she read, scanning through files that confirmed her worst fears. "They're not just enhancing individual warriors. They're trying to create a perfect hybrid, combining the strongest traits from every fighting species." The Drachnid warrior, his scaled form towering over the control station, growled softly. "The genetic samples? They're from all of us. Every match, every medical treatment after combat, they were harvesting our DNA." Maya's mind raced through the implications. The arena matches weren't just for gathering combat data. They were stress-testing different genetic combinations, seeing which traits emerged strongest under extreme conditions. She moved to another display, her fingers flying over the controls. "And look at these transmission logs. They've been sending the data to military installations across 3 sectors. Weapons development," the Drachnid confirmed. "Creating soldiers who combine human adaptability with Centaurian strength, Valak's stealth capabilities, Drachnid regeneration. And they used the arena's emotion manipulators to keep us focused on fighting each other instead of questioning why we were really here." Maya's voice hardened as she accessed deeper files. "But that's not even the worst part. The enhanced warriors in those cells, they're prototypes, but they're not the end goal." She brought up another display, showing a massive chamber deep beneath the arena. "They're building something down there, something big enough to house hundreds of growth tanks, once they perfect the genetic combinations. They could create an army," the Drachnid finished. "One that combines all our species' greatest strengths." Maya nodded, already formulating new plans. And with the emotion manipulation technology, they could control them completely. No free will, no questioning orders, just perfect living weapons. Her earpiece crackled with Kathara's voice. "Commander, we've reached the holding cells, the enhanced warriors. They recognize me. They're responding to Centaurian pheromone signals." "Can you communicate with them?" "Yes, but," Kathara's translator hummed with concern. "Their minds are fractured. The enhancements have damaged their neural pathways. They understand that something is wrong, but their conditioning keeps reasserting control." Maya turned to the genetic data displays. "Look for a sequence marked Protocol 0. It should be in the base programming of all enhanced subjects. The arena masters would have needed a way to deactivate their creations if they lost control." "Found it," Rax's voice joined the conversation. "But Commander, triggering this could kill them. Their enhanced systems are barely stable as it is." Maya's hands clenched into fists. The rational tactical choice would be to eliminate the enhanced warriors, remove them as a potential threat. But that's exactly the kind of cold calculation the arena masters would make. They'd spent months trying to prove that every species could be reduced to their base instincts, turned into weapons. "We're not them," she declared firmly. "We don't sacrifice people because it's convenient. Kathara, can your neural interface link with the cell block's medical systems?" "Yes, but—" "Do it. Rax, I need you to generate a low-level disruption field, just enough to interfere with their control conditioning without destabilizing their molecular structure. We're going to try something that probably qualifies as impossible." The Drachnid warrior tilted his massive head. "What are you planning, Commander?" Maya was already moving, her fingers dancing across multiple control panels simultaneously. The arena masters tried to create perfect weapons by combining our strengths, but they missed something fundamental about what makes each of our species truly strong. She initiated a complex sequence of commands, rerouting power from the arena's emotion manipulators to the medical systems. It's not our physical advantages or natural weapons that define us. It's our ability to choose, to decide who we want to be. The enhanced warriors have been stripped of that choice, Cathara observed through the comm. Then we give it back to them, Maya replied, her voice carrying the same quiet authority that had united their unlikely rebellion. We show them that they're not weapons, they're people, and we offer them the one thing the arena masters never did. Which is, Rax asked. Hope. Maya activated the final sequence. Now, let's remind everyone in this arena what happens when you bet against the supposedly weaker species. Because humans, we specialize in impossible odds. Throughout the medical level, systems began to shift and change as Maya's plan unfolded. The arena masters had created their perfect weapons through force and control. It was time to show them a different kind of strength, one born from choice, cooperation, and the unshakable determination to prove that even the most damaged warrior could find redemption. Freedom's price. The arena's massive main chamber had never been so silent. Where there should have been the roar of bloodthirsty spectators, there was only the soft hum of disabled emotion manipulators and the measured breathing of warriors poised for battle. Maya stood in the center of the arena floor, flanked by Cathara and Rax, facing the private viewing box where the arena masters had finally emerged from hiding. You disappoint us, Commander Rodriguez, the lead master's voice boomed through the arena's speakers. The hooded figure leaned forward, revealing cybernetically enhanced features. We expected humans to be the perfect baseline for our experiments. Your genetic adaptability, your neural plasticity, all ideal for creating the next evolution of warfare. That was your first mistake, Maya replied, her voice carrying clearly through the hushed space. You looked at humans and saw what you wanted to see, test subjects, weapons to be enhanced. You never bothered to look deeper. Around the arena's perimeter, the enhanced warriors they'd freed from the medical labs took up strategic positions. Their movements were still unnaturally fluid, but their eyes now held awareness instead of vacant obedience. Behind them, the regular spectators watched in stunned silence, the arena's emotion manipulation no longer clouding their minds. Your second mistake, Maya continued, was assuming that forcing warriors to fight each other would break us down to our base instincts. Instead, you taught us each other's strengths and weaknesses. You made us experts at working together. The arena master's cybernetic eyes flared. Initiate Protocol Omega, authorization, master override. Nothing happened. Maya allowed herself a small smile. Looking for this? She held up a neural control chip. Amazing what you can accomplish when you combine Centaurian crystal technology with Valak's phase-shifting abilities. Your control systems never even detected us removing it from your secure vault. Security protocols have been compromised, another arena master announced, their metallic voice carrying an edge of panic. The enhanced warriors are not responding to commands. Of course they're not, Cathara's translator hummed with satisfaction. They're no longer your weapons. We used my neural interface to help them rebuild their damaged minds. They remember everything you did to them. The lead arena master stood, cybernetic implants whirring. You forget yourselves. This facility was built to contain the galaxy's deadliest warriors. Every system, every safeguard was designed to control individuals, Maya interrupted. But we're not fighting as individuals anymore. She raised her hand, and throughout the arena, warriors of every species moved in perfect synchronization, the result of months spent learning each other's combat styles. Final warning, the arena master's voice turned harsh. Stand down, or we will be forced to demonstrate the full extent of our preparations. Maya's response was to tap her modified earpiece. Rax, show them what happens when you combine Valak's disruption fields with human encryption algorithms. Throughout the complex, systems began to shift and change. Security barriers flickered and died. Weapon systems went offline. And most importantly, the massive displays around the arena came to life, broadcasting the arena master's secret files to every spectator. You see, Maya addressed the crowd, this was never about entertainment. These masters have been using this arena to develop illegal combat enhancers. Every match you cheered for was an experiment. Every credit you spent funded weapons research that could restart the wars we all fought so hard to end. The arena masters' private box erupted in activity as they tried desperately to regain control. But Maya wasn't finished. "And now," she continued, "you're all witnesses. Every transmission log, every genetic experiment, every violation of the peace treaties, it's being broadcast across 3 sectors. Your emotion manipulators can't hide the truth anymore." The lead arena master's cybernetic enhancements whirred as weapon systems deployed from his robes. "You think exposing our work matters? We have supporters in every major military, every government. They understand that peace is an illusion. The strong must rule." His words cut off as Cathara's crystalline form suddenly shifted, refracting light in a way that made his targeting systems useless. Rax's disruption field further scrambled his cybernetics. And Maya, demonstrating why humans had earned their reputation for unpredictability, was already moving. The fight that followed was brief, but decisive. The arena masters had enhanced themselves with the best technology available, but they'd forgotten something crucial about real combat. No amount of augmentation can match the coordination of warriors who trust each other completely. When it was over, Maya stood over the defeated arena master, his cybernetic systems offline, his schemes exposed to the galaxy. Around the arena, spectators were already calling for investigations, for justice, for answers to questions too long ignored. "You still don't understand, do you?" Maya addressed the fallen master. "You wanted to prove that every species could be reduced to their base nature, turned into weapons, but you proved exactly the opposite. When you forced us to fight each other, we learned something far more valuable than combat techniques." Cathara moved to her side, crystalline form shimmering with victory colors. "We learned to see beyond our differences. To recognize strength in unity," Rax added, his silicon form solidifying beside them. Maya nodded. "Humans don't survive because we're the strongest or fastest. We survive because we understand something you never could. True power doesn't come from controlling others. It comes from choosing to stand together." The enhanced warriors approached, their modified forms still fearsome, but their eyes now clear and determined. One of them, a towering figure with traits from multiple species, spoke in a voice rough from disuse. "What happens to us now?" Maya met their gaze steadily. "That's your choice. For the first time since they changed you, you get to decide your own path, and whatever you choose, you're not alone anymore." As sector security forces finally arrived, drawn by the broadcasts, Maya looked around at the unlikely family of warriors they'd forged in the crucible of the arena. They'd come in as champions of their individual species, forced to fight for others' entertainment. They were leaving as something far more powerful, living proof that the galaxy's greatest strength lay not in combat enhancement or genetic manipulation, but in the simple choice to stand together against those who would turn them into weapons. "Commander," Cathara's translator hummed softly, "the human concept of impossible odds, I believe I finally understand it." Maya smiled. "Oh. It's not about the odds at all, is it? It's about making the impossible possible, simply because someone said it couldn't be done." "That's humanity's real secret weapon," Maya agreed, watching as their fellow warriors helped sector security begin processing the arena master's crimes. "Not our adaptability or our ingenuity, but our absolute refusal to accept that something is impossible." She looked up at the arena's massive viewing screens, still broadcasting evidence of the master's experiments across the sectors. Sometimes the greatest victories weren't won through superior strength or enhanced abilities, but through the simple, unshakable determination to prove that even the most different species could work together to create something better than they could ever achieve alone.